Years ago, I wrote a film. I haven't had the opportunity to produce that film yet, but it was called Open Fire. And Open Fire, it was about a writer, an irresponsible writer, who started to write stuff out of just sheer anger and did not realize that what they were writing was actually happening. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Brilliant. Buff Nation. Y'all know I'm all right, right? Is there a funeral? What happened? Y'all know I'm good, right? Ain't nobody did nothing to me. I was like, what happened? Nothing happened to me. I'm good. Nobody did anything to me. Those tears was not for them. Those tears was not for them. Those tears were for my community. Those tears were for my people. I started off that whole conversation by letting you guys know how I'm wired. I care deeply. The things that bug my soul, the things that push me every single day. My people push me. That's just my commission. I care for my people. Those tears was not for anybody pushing me off of YouTube. Can't nobody push me off of YouTube. Shout, stop playing. What? Push me off of YouTube? Come on now. Y'all, listen, man, I gotta get to work. I just used an example to speak to my people, and I choked up because of my people, because when I start thinking about my people and the things that we have to go through, I choked up, but ain't nobody pushing me off of YouTube. I ain't going nowhere. So I'm staying right here. Let's go, man. Let's get to work, man. We got some stuff on the wire that I gotta address. Got the hoodie on, got to pull my sleeves up. Smash the subscribe button, give me the thumbs up. That's it. You know what time it is. Let's work. College football analyst puts overhyped label on Colorado entering spring practice. That analyst, his name is Will Backus. That's what we're about to talk about. We got to get right into it. Stop playing with me. This one is from my guy Jack Carlo at the Colorado Buffaloes Wired.usatoday.com. At this point, nobody truly knows what to expect from the 2023 Colorado Buffaloes. I expect head coach Deion Sanders will have his squad playing tough, fast, and disciplined with character. But is that enough to produce a 500 season? Okay. If you're gauging the current roster, it really comes down to how much weight you put on the recency of 111 versus the slew of talented new players and coaches now in Boulder. Some expect the Buffs to break the top 25 sometime this season, while others, such as 247 Sports college football analyst Will Backus, believe that a 6-6 campaign would be overachieving. As spring practices are about to begin across the country, Backus broke down a few teams that he believes are either overhyped or underhyped. Here's what he wrote on the overhyped Buffs. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Deion Sanders was a fantastic hire, and he's already getting the attention of some elite talent, but he is also inheriting a complete mess. I agree with him on that. Okay. Discounting the COVID-19 year, Colorado has just one winning season since joining the Pac-12 over a decade ago. While Sanders' 25 prospect transfer class could plug some holes immediately, Colorado still has probably the worst roster in the whole conference. Yet there are some major pundits that have included the Buffaloes in their way too early top 25 predictions. As things stand, Colorado is little more than a paper tiger at this point. With his charisma and ability to recruit, Sanders has all the tools to rebuild Colorado, but making a bowl in year one will be overachieving. Hold up, pump your brakes, Will Backus. You guys know me on this channel. I deal in facts. That's what I do. I am not a triple D, a delusional Deion detractor. I am not in the triple D department. For this article, this thing right here that I'm reading on my phone, this is the reason why you need outlines, you need pundits, you need to be able to control your narrative. I know the media very well, and I've told you guys before, I know how this thing works. I know how headlines work, and I know how all of this works. Some of you may be like, well, Harry B., stop worrying about those people. They're just haters. No, we have to worry about these people. And there's a reason why we have to worry about these people. There's a reason why sports writers and all of these headlines are important. Let me tell you why it's important. It's important because of the people that are reading and the people that are watching. The students are watching. Their parents, moms, dads, uncles, all of them, everyone is watching. They're paying attention. Lots of time people make their decisions based on the media. It is very, very important. At the NFL draft, the commentators who are on television and they're talking, we've seen several times where those commentators have said certain things about certain players, and the players weren't drafted as high as they were projected to be drafted. This stuff matters. You know why 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson almost always, no matter who it is coming for him, always answers right away? Because if you don't control your narrative, the person that's controlling your narrative has the power to mess with your bag. You cannot allow anyone to mess with your bag. The media is the place that you don't want to mess with. The media creates narratives. Narratives are important. Headlines are important. I've already told you guys about headlines and how all of these things work. So please understand that everything is important and everything matters. In hip hop, if somebody mentions your name, If the person has less weight, they're probably doing it for clout. They're probably trying to do it so that you can respond in order for them to get their name out there because you have a bigger name. If somebody mentions your name and they are on the same level as you are and you don't respond, it sends a message that either you are afraid of that person or they are right. Now, whether they're right or not, it makes no difference. The fact that you're quiet is sending a message. People are going to make up their own mind if you don't speak, if they don't hear from your mouth. Controlling your narrative is very important. That's why channels like myself, pundits like myself, alliances like myself with Coach Prime are very important because all of these things matter because everybody has an agenda. There's always an agenda. There is always a narrative. Will Backus is writing this and he is stating no facts. I saw the information come across the wire. I read it and I'm like, okay, I'm a very rational person and I'm a very responsible reporter. I'm not delusional in any sense of the word. Not at all. So I looked at it because I know that I'm new in this space. First, I don't know all of the analysts that write for college football. I don't know all of the factors that go into college football. I'm learning very fast. Even though I've only been here for a short period of time, I'm starting to realize that the game is the same. Like, it's no different. What Will is saying, it doesn't affect Coach Prime as far as what he's going to be able to do. But let me tell you why it matters. It matters. We're still recruiting. A lot is still going on. The words that you use in the media matters because people are paying attention. Decisions are still being made. The recruits are still out there trying to make their decision. Anyone can be swayed. Will knows what he's doing. Some people want to build an alliance with you, so what they're going to do in the media, they're going to write something good about you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to butter you up a little bit. Sometimes you don't know that they're setting you up. They can write something nice, but they're trying to set you up. As YouTubers, we also have to be careful. See, everybody has an agenda because sometimes people will come on my channel and they will say, hey, I'm subscribing to your channel because of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, thanks for telling me that. But when I report a certain way, when I say something that they don't like, those same people come back and they say, I'm unsubscribing to your channel because of this. It's a form of control. They hype you up just to let you down, just to let you know that they have control of you. Coach Prime says, I don't go by the hype of the fans. I don't give my remote to the fans. So they don't have the propensity or the capacity to bring me up or bring me down. At a certain point, we all have to learn that. It's beautiful when you are engaging with people and when people genuinely tell you, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. And you take that for face value. You say, thank you, I really appreciate that. You can tell when somebody is genuinely happy for you, when somebody really genuinely appreciate what you're doing. But there are some people who use that for power, to control you to a certain extent. They say certain things, they'll give you certain compliments, but those compliments comes with a price. As long as you stay in pocket, I will continue to give you these compliments so you can keep being hyped. But if you get out of pocket, I'm going to let you know also. It's okay to be criticized by the same people that's giving you praise. That's fine. So you know that, it's authentic. But there are just certain people that you know that are not necessarily complimenting you genuinely. I don't like this title that you wrote, so I'm leaving. Okay, by all means. I have to be confident in what I'm doing here and not be moved by the fans. Messaging is important. Controlling your narrative is very, very important in this business. You have to have friends. You have to have allies to help you to control that narrative, to survive. I'm one of Coach Prime's pundits, his allies. I'm not no fanboy or googly-eyed, oh, he can do no wrong. I'm not one of those types. I genuinely care about the guy. I really love what he's doing with the young men. I like his character, his values. They align with my values. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, he's a cool guy. I can do this. I made myself an ally for him. I know that Colorado Buffaloes Wire, they're with us. I know that Athlon Sports, they're allies. 247 Sports, they're probably kind of like neutral because we did get some good stuff from 247 Sports. We got the stuff from Young at Fox Sports, CBS Sports, ESPN, other coaches and other people who are willing to put their reputations on the line to say certain things. So we have allies in the media, all right? Make no mistake. It's not like Deion Sanders just has YouTubers like us. Even though we are important, Coach Prime also has television. He also has the big boys out there. He knows that when he needs to make that phone call, he'll make that phone call. But our little voices are important just as well. So this stuff is important. Your narrative is not going to be the only one out there. And let me tell you why people like us are important. Because there are certain things that Coach Prime cannot say that we are willing to say. The reason why you need allies in the media is because certain people are on certain platforms and they have to keep their cool. They're not in the streets. They have to be careful how they approach and say certain things. So you need pundits and you need allies who are going to be able to say certain things because everybody's listening. Everybody's watching. These kids and their parents and their guardians and everyone, they're watching and they're paying attention. If you're not careful, if you don't have no friends to help you to push your narrative, the people who are your detractors, if they're constantly out there and they're the one that just keep talking and and you're not responding because you're not in a position to respond, then people start thinking that it's true. That's why it's important to have channels like mine and other channels and other creators supporting you when you're in this business of media. Coach Prime understands that because all of these things help in recruiting. Ultimately, the bag. I guarantee you, if there was no hype here, but Coach Prime was a great coach, if the media wasn't out here, if people weren't looking in here, and the hype was going and Coach Prime was just a good coach, half of the top level recruits that we are getting will probably not come here because of the past, like Mr. Will Backus stated, the 1-11 that nobody wants to let go. Because of that, nobody will probably come here. You can have the best record, but they already know what's happening here. They know that they're coming to put their careers on the line. So it's very important that you have allies in this business. When people like Will Backus write stuff like this, people like myself come on here and we give a rebuttal. Rebuttals are very important for your constituents. Rebuttals are very important for the kids that are watching. There are parents that watch me that have kids that are committed to certain schools. People are watching, people are paying attention. So imagine if the negative message was to be the only message that they had. A kid is trying to make a decision. A kid and their parents are sitting in the living room or at their dining room table and they're talking. And Mr. Will Backus' information is the only information that they have to go off. Coach Prime is overhyped. They have the worst roster. Imagine that. In the mind of a young person trying to decide, or in the mind of a concerned parent, somebody who's trying to make a decision where they're going to send their kid for their education and to have the best opportunity to go to the NFL. Because other than that, why would you be doing it? The NFL is the final destination. As far as football is concerned, it's the NFL. Now, as far as school, I mean, CU is a great university to go to school. There's a lot of kids that are trying to get into the school that cannot get in. So just in case for that person who's thinking, oh, everything's not about football. Well, we're talking about football. But imagine in the mind of that kid at that dinner table talking with their parents. So did you read what Will Backus had to say? Yeah, if they have the worst roster, you can be a monster and you can say, well, you know what? Let me go there because that'll help me to shine. Or you will be the other kid who will be like, if I go to that school with the worst roster, my chances of shining, my chances of making to the NFL are not going to be that high. So let me choose Alabama. Let me go to Nick Saban. Let me choose Georgia because Georgia won it this year. Let me go to TCU and make them better because at least they got there. Imagine a family making that decision, armed with just that information, without us, without people like me giving a rebuttal. It's ridiculous because Mr. Will Backus, he gave no facts. Where are the facts? When I saw the message come across, I started looking for the facts. Let me understand, what was he saying? I don't just jump to conclusion. I'm not going to jump to the rebuttal because I'm rational. I'm like, okay, if he thinks that we have the worst roster, what is he comparing us to? Which teams have the best roster in the Pac-12? My last video that I just uploaded, that information came from 247 Sports. I broke it down from 247 Sports. The writer from the Buffalo's Wired at usatoday.com, Matt Wiley, took the information from 247 Sports. 12 questions. We got to go pound for pound. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. This is what I was looking for. This is what I went to the article for. This is what I wanted to hear from Will Backus. Something like this. Important questions for each Pac-12 football team per 247 Sports. Chris Hummer from 247 Sports. If you put something out there, I'm going to answer you. I'm going to make a video too. We all got the power. I got some power here. When you average 1,000 people watching your video, somebody's watching. So people are listening. Stop playing with me, Will. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting. Something like this. Pound for pound something. This is for the Pac-12. This is what Will is talking about. We have the worst roster in the Pac-12. The worst. For USC, their front seven. USC's offense is loaded, but the biggest question is defense. They have a better defense than we do. According to Will, their defense is better. Nobody's saying that though. No other writer, nobody else is coming out to say we have the worst defense. According to Chris Hummer, USC has to work their defense out. Nobody's come out to say we have the worst defense. That's the first thing. The second thing, Washington, their secondary. Washington's offense is also loaded, but the bigger question is, again, it's defense, especially in their secondary. Their secondary in their defense. The D-line is good, but when you get off that D-line, when you start dealing with the guys on the end, when you start talking about the cornerbacks, the people that's off the line, they don't have a Travis Hunter. If we're the worst, then they got a Travis Hunter on that defense. Washington has Cormani McLean on that defense because we're the worst. Keep in mind, we're the worst. There's no Travis Hunter. There's no Cormani McLean on that defense, but we're the worst. We're going pound for pound. The worst roster? What is it based on? Oregon, inside linebacker core. The inside linebackers, their primary job is to stop the run. Washington doesn't have good inside linebackers. Oregon doesn't have inside linebackers. The Ducks' loss of Noah Sewell is a massive one, and they will need to replace him. Having Bortnick's back at QB helps the offense not miss a beat. If we have the worst roster, they have better inside linebackers than we do. Utah, the health of Cam Rising. January 2nd of this year, 2023, the Penn State Nifty Lions beat the Utah Utes. In that game, in the Rose Bowl, Cam Rising, he tore his ACL. They're now using backup quarterbacks. Our quarterback is Shedeur Sanders, coming from an undefeated season. If we have the worst roster, then their backup quarterbacks are better than Shedeur. What are we talking about? Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson. The reason why he jumped into the transfer portal, when I was making the video, I didn't know the reason why. I asked my people to please help me out to understand that. Let's go to it. My guy Chad said, quarterback from Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei, he was horrible at Clemson. He got benched in the middle of the season. He threw a lot of interceptions. That's Oregon State. He's in the Pac-12. That's Oregon State. Jumped in the transfer portal. He got benched in the middle of the season. DJ Uiagalelei, he's better than Shedeur Sanders. We got the worst roster, right? Pound for pound. UCLA got a quarterback situation, which is not really a situation. They got a situation where they have a 5-star quarterback. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is no longer at UCLA. He's gone. But the two people that are replacing him is a 5-star and another guy from Kent State. So those two guys are supposed to be better than Shedeur Sanders, according to Will Backus. Washington State, passing game. Washington State lost both its OC and its DC. That's their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. We have a new team too. We lost our DT. We just replaced them. So there's no question there. But apparently their passing game is supposed to be better than ours. But this is the same 247 Sports that's writing this stuff. So their passing game is a question for them. The OC that they're going to replace their past OC with is going to be better than Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis is being written up all over the place as one of the best young minds in the game. He's on our roster. Sean Lewis was being vetted by Notre Dame. It seems like everybody wants Sean Lewis. We don't even know if he's going to be there for 2 years. He's there for this year, but we don't even know if Sean Lewis is going to stick around. That guy is on our team. I'm going to stop it there. No more comparison. But when I do these breakdowns, it's for this reason, because I'm trying to feed my constituents. I'm trying to feed our people with solid information that they can hold on to. Information, not these frivolous arguments that we have out here. I'm not on here just talking. This is not only an opinion channel. I'm bringing facts. I bring information that's going to help us. Even though I'm new to the area, I'm not new to life and I'm not new to the game. I'm hip to the game. I know the game very well. I know what Will Backus is doing. And that's why I'm trying to do what I'm doing. Somebody upset you. Something upset you. So you're becoming a detractor for no reason. For what? Why become a detractor? And my guy, Kevin Borba at Athlon Sports on his podcast, Locked on Buffs podcast, Kevin Borba, he mentioned too that this guy may be a detractor, that he may be just a hater. There are haters coming out. And Kevin Borba has been doing this. He writes about this stuff. He's been around much longer than me. That's why I wanted to have his opinions. I went to his podcast. He's already talked about this stuff. To listen to him. Kevin, so this guy has nothing? I'm so confused. I'm like, so Kevin, wait, he has nothing? We're paper tigers? Like, that's why I keep telling y'all, we're paper tigers. We are recruiting paper tigers and everybody else are recruiting studs. Everybody else is recruiting stallions and we're recruiting paper tigers. Yo, this is amazing. While saying this 25 prospect transfer class could plug some holes immediately, Colorado still has probably the worst roster in the whole conference. Yet, there are some major pundits that have included the Buffaloes in their way too early top 25 predictions. As things stand, Colorado is little more than a paper tiger at this point. As things stand, Colorado is little more than a paper tiger at this point. As things stand, Colorado is little more than a paper tiger at this point. So we're recruiting paper tigers and everyone else is recruiting aliens and stallions, studs. Everybody else is recruiting studs and we're recruiting paper tigers. Yo, this stuff matters. You cannot write this person off. You can't just say, oh, that guy's a hater, leave him alone, Harry B. It's okay, don't worry about him, let him see. No, we got to worry about this type of person. Just like in hip hop, we got to be 50 Cent about this. Somebody come and say something, you best believe I'm going to come on here and I'm going to say something. We're not just going to leave these people out there, especially the writers. All the detractors in the comments, we're going to leave those people alone. But when there's somebody who has power and influence, we have to respond to those people quickly. We have to cut the neck of the snake off quickly. That narrative is not going to sit for the day. It's not going to happen. Not today. Not today. No, sir, Will Backus. I may be new to this game, but I'm hip to the game of life, bruh. I know the media. I know how you work. I'm part of the media. I've been working this. I've been in the film business for a minute, bruh. I know what you're doing. I know what that is. You better stop playing, bruh. You're barking up the wrong tree, home. You didn't bring nothing. You have to stats with your company. Your company is a recruiting company. Come on. Hummer did this thing. Hummer went and gave me a beautiful list. He said, these are some problems that we got to look at. He works in a cubicle next to you. So what did you eat this morning? What did you have for breakfast? Who upset you, bruh? Who made you mad? Who dumped you? What happened? Did you reach out to Coach Prime and Coach Prime refused an exclusive? Something happened, bruh. When people are writing like this, something has to happen. For everybody to be heaping praise on Coach Prime, and then you get somebody out of the crowd and say, wait a minute, pump the brakes, everybody. They're saying, nope, there's too much hype. It's not true. But why? But tell us the reason why. DJ Uiagalelei is way better than Shedeur Sanders. Cal, their whole roster is better than ours. Stanford, the Cardinal, they're way better than us. I don't think so. I don't think so, bruh. 2 predictions have come out already. We've come out in the 25. RJ Young from Fox Sports, he said, we're cracking top 25, and he gave us the reasons why. And I believe it was Wilner from the Pac-12. He gave us his predictions. But you're like, if we go 6-6, that'll be overachieving. God almighty. Man, somebody upset this guy. Could have been a Deion supporter in that office, and they could have been having a verbal jousting match. His cubicle is here, the other person's cubicle is here. You know, they do their chair like this, and you know how people like are in a cubicle and they turn their chair around, and then the guy's right there and they're having that conversation. You're probably doing it right now, and then that guy upset him. Guy was giving so much praise on Deion, and then he upset him. That's what it sounds like. That's what this thing sounds like. You know what I'm saying? He sounds like that nerd that somebody gave him the business, but he had the power of the pen. That Mark Zuckerberg type, he had some type of argument. Instead of defending himself in that argument and really standing up to that person he was talking to, he had the power to close your Facebook account. He had the power of the pen. He ain't got no power anywhere else, but he got the power of the pen. People like this, when they come on their platforms, when they go in front of their big crowds, they use the pen to destroy. Years ago, I wrote a film. I haven't had the opportunity to produce that film yet, but it was called Open Fire. And Open Fire, it was about a writer, an irresponsible writer, who started to write stuff out of just sheer anger and did not realize that what they were writing was actually happening. I probably had to put it in the sci-fi genre somewhere, but they just started writing. And they started to watch the news. And then they started to see some similarities. When the writer started to watch the news and started seeing these things happening, he's like, wow. He wasn't paying attention at first. He or she, whoever I choose the character to be, woman or man, doesn't matter. The more they watched the news, they started to realize that some of these things started to look familiar. They started to realize that the stuff that they were seeing on the news was what they were writing. The media is a powerful, powerful tool. Propaganda is powerful. Lives can be destroyed through the media. If you're not responsible with that pen, if you're in a position of influence and you're not responsible with your pen, you can destroy a lot of lives. I know this is not a life and death situation. I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to let you know how powerful the media is, how influential the media is. And if you're not careful, they can do that. I'm not going to answer every hater, but I know which ones to answer. If you have a big platform and you have an opportunity to do good, but you don't do good, I'm going to answer you. I'm not delusional and I'm not naive to think that every news that come out is going to be favorable for Coach Prime Deion Sanders. What I want to see is responsible reporting. I want you to give me some reason. If you give me a solid reason, I will listen and I will say, absolutely, you're probably right. You can give me your facts. I'll give you my facts. And then we let the chips fall where they're going to fall. When I give you my facts, but only your facts matter, my facts don't matter, that's what makes you a delusional person. Then you are a delusional Deion detractor. And I'm thinking, I'm not ready to cast that stone yet. I'm not ready to cast that vote yet or to put that label on Will Backus. I don't know Will Backus enough yet. I need something else. I need more meat on that bone. But I'm thinking that Will Backus may be a triple D, a delusional Deion detractor. He's on my radar now. I know his name now. Oh boy. Will, I know your name now. I'll be looking out for you, Will. This stuff is important. Everything's important. We got to control the narrative. That's why I'm here. I'm going to keep making videos and I'm going to keep talking. I don't care who says whatever. We got to protect our guy because our guy is the guy that their guy is always talking about. It's obvious. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Stop with all the sad stuff. I'm all right. Nobody's driving me off YouTube. My tears were for my people because I love my people. I want to keep serving my people. You know what I do here? That was the Liberian Perspective TLP Sports Club.